Welcome to Focus on Crestview. I'm Dennis Mitchell, President of the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce. And today we are delighted to have as our guest and sponsor for this month, Derek Lott. He is with CCB Community Bank, and we are proud to have you back, being a past president of the Chamber. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Well, one thing about Community Bank, they take it very seriously, the word community, and we're going to find out about all the things that you folks have been involved in, and the list is quite long. I know something else about your bank that's interesting and is noticeable is that you have this gorgeous facility there on Highway 85, and I think most of your other branches are either exactly the same or similar to that beautiful building. For that. So we'll talk about that as well as the upcoming after hours that you have later in the month of October. So if you would, Derek. Derek is the city president for the CCB Community Bank there, and heavily involved in the chamber, past president, currently the vice president of government, and that's a long list we don't have nearly enough time for on this show to go through all the things you've been involved in. But if you would, tell us a little bit about the community involvements for the bank.
I'll be glad to. Luckily, the bank is in a very good position to where we're both very successful and financially successful. So when that happens, that allows our management, our board, to give us the opportunity to be more involved in the community. And really, it's a give or take. We discussed this the other day at the Chamber breakfast. Being involved in the community is something that bankers need to do, and we are measured by the government for our dollars that we use in certain aspects of the community. So it is important that we do that, but also it's important that we do it because we want to support the members that are the community members that are our customers. And at the same time, it gives us a chance to interact with different people in the community for selfish reasons, because we get to bring those people back to the bank as customers. So it is a give or take relationship.
Well, it's much like the Chamber, and I guess that's one of the reasons you folks are involved so heavily with the Chamber. It's not only the economic, but the quality of life that comes to the community.
Yeah, the Chamber is a perfect example of another one of those give or take relationships that the bank or a banker will have with the community. It definitely gives the banker the opportunity to be visible and accessible at the same time on a level that you wouldn't have by just sitting in the branch waiting for things to happen. So going to the various events, the after hours, going to the breakfast, it gives you that marketing time with the people that are doing business in Crestview directly that you just can't buy.
Well, I mean, 2 years ago, you folks were the host of the wine gala, and that was just a lovely evening we all had there. It's a great setting. It's almost like a beautiful old Southern home there. It's such a beautiful bank building. But for all that, tell us some of the specific things that you folks have been involved in, and later on in the show, what you're going to be bringing to us.
Well, not only in the Crestview area, in the Crestview market, but also in the Florida Panhandle. Myself, primarily I'm focused in Crestview, but I do have some relationships with some other not-for-profits down in the south end of the county, such as Children in Crisis, and Ken Hare, who is the president and CEO of that organization, is going to be here shortly to talk to us about the wonderful things they do. We also have a new branch in Niceville, and we have somebody down there that does the same thing I do, Don Collins, for the Niceville market. And then my boss, Alan Wood, is the Florida president, and he kind of looks at things on a larger scope throughout the Florida Panhandle region. And he's involved in organizations that are more or less down along the beach and in the Niceville area. He's on the board at the Child Advocacy Center, very involved with the Maddie Kelly Arts, and some of those organizations do the same thing. It gives us visibility. It also allows us to donate funds and time back to the community to make our community a better place. And in the end, everybody's happy because it makes the bank successful and it helps organizations that do good things for our community.
Well, it's very true. You folks are supportive of a number of programs, but not with just dollars. You actually have the CCB Community Bank people involved heavily. Yourself is a good example. Take the leadership roles, not just joining in, but actually out there making the difference for that. Well, when we come back for our next segment over there, we'll be introducing Ken Hare. I know as somebody you've been working with closely, and I'll let you give us a little lead in about what we'll hear when Ken comes in to visit us.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to coming back and talking about that and bringing Ken on board and letting the community out there know what the wonderful things that happen at Children in Crisis.
Very good. Stay tuned. We'll be back in our next segment discussing the Children in Crisis with Ken Hare.
The Arts and Design Society of Fort Walton Beach invites you to the 7th Annual Art Week celebration, November 16th through the 22nd at the Art Center. Explore your inner artist with a variety of instructor-led art classes, tour an exhibition of art created during the week, and see the winners of the art competition. Come back on Friday, November 22nd to enjoy games and refreshments at the Art Party, Art Week's big finale. For more information, call 244-1271 or visit artsdesignsociety.org.
Cox Media reaches your customers through a powerful mix of digital media products backed by measurable results. Commercials, television advertising, strategically placed on over 55 popular networks. Internet, online advertising featured on our popular Cox.com website. Mobile, special offers, sales, and events delivered to your customers' cell phones. Express Link, in-depth videos available on demand on your very own channel, showcased in your TV ads. Cox Media, your customers, delivered.
Welcome back to Focus on Crestview. I'm Dennis Mitchell, President of the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce. Today, our guest is Derek Lott, City President of CCB Community Bank in Crestview. And graciously, we've been hearing all about the things that they've been involved in, but they have brought a special guest for us to enjoy today. So if you would please, Derek, if you would introduce our guest with you.
I'd be glad to. Today we brought one of our great community leaders and somebody that I work with a lot and our bank works with a lot and a lot of people in the community know, but it's Ken Hare with Children in Crisis, and Ken's going to tell us a little bit about the wonderful things they do over at Children in Crisis.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me and letting me be here, and thanks for your great support. Thanks for your great support, and Cox as well. What I found with Children in Crisis, and we've been incorporated this was our 10th year anniversary. Our 10th birthday, and we celebrated that last week when we had a ribbon cutting on our next home. But thinking back, what makes Children in Crisis work, and most of the nonprofits, is that community partnership. And CCB Bank has been wonderful partners with us. Derek's a board member, and also I think Alan is board member of CAC, and you're involved, and not only you're involved, but you care. And we can tell that, and we appreciate that. And Crestview Chamber's always there supporting me when I need something to get the word out or something. They're always there for me. Children in Crisis, as most of you know, was incorporated in 2003. It took us about 5 years to open our first house, our first home, and that was in 2008 with the emergency shelter and our first foster home. Before Children in Crisis, there was no emergency shelter in the four-county area, the Panhandle of Florida, for young children. So, of course, that was a great need, because what was happening is most of the time it's more than just one child that's taken out of an unsafe environment or unsafe home. It's usually 2 or 3 or 4, sometimes up to 6 or 7 sibling brothers and sister families. So when we opened up the emergency shelter, that enabled the Department of Children and Families and Families First Network, who placed children with us, to keep the brothers and sisters together, place them immediately, and not have them shuffle around all over the circuit, and give the system an opportunity to work properly. And I really think that it's been a really key to paying attention better to the children and what their needs are, and keeping the families together. Once the families get separated, it's very, very difficult to get them back together. So if you have one here and one in the next county and 2 or 3 over here, and it's just very difficult. So when we opened up that emergency shelter and that first foster home, for the emergency shelter was temporary, usually 30 to 90 days. And then if the children need a home beyond that, they're not going to be able to go back to mom and pop. There was a significant abuse or neglect. then they were going to be placed in a traditional foster home or one of our foster homes. And that's what we call the Children's Neighborhood. And we started building that in 2008, and we've expanded that since. So that's the long-term children that go to the foster homes. And again, keeping brothers and sisters together. Since we opened up in 2008, we've been able to give a home to almost 400 children. Now, it may not sound a lot. It sounds a lot to me, but it may not sound a lot when you're talking about contact or serving children. But that's 38,000 days and nights of a home for a child. And that's kind of where we are different than most other children's charities. A lot of the others, and very, very important and great and wonderful nonprofits and charities, but they don't have the home for the child, and Children in Crisis has that home. We're where they live, and that's what we call them Children's Neighborhood. But that's, I feel we're very, very special. But also, it's very, very special when I see this community supporting Children in Crisis and all the things that we're trying to do.
And one thing that's very important with what you just said, and me being a new board member, and this organization, Children in Crisis, is different from the Chamber in that the Chamber is a business organization where we try to promote business by interacting with each other. Children in Crisis is a pure service-oriented organization that, if you can imagine, if you have kids and for some catastrophe, your whole family and support system were gone and your child just was there, where would your child go?
Exactly.
And that's what you do, is provide a place to do that in our community, so that kids don't go to South Florida or they don't go to another state. They get to
That's
remain
right.
in the community and hopefully in the same school system that they were at, and so forth.
Absolutely. And we're very, very proud of that. But we couldn't have done that without the great support of the community. We get a very small stipend from Department of Children and Families for each child they place, and it only covers about a third of our cost. That's why you see us running around doing all the fundraisers, and my hair's on fire 2/3 of the time and trying to get that check here and there. But our budget is very, very large every year, and you have to make that every year. But it's that important too. For us to see those children come to a safe, secure, loving home, sometimes we set the standard that they've never seen before. We show them how life is supposed to be, and they'll take that lesson for them the rest of their lives, whether it's with Children in Crisis or go back to home or reunited or in another foster home, traditional foster home. So we're very, very proud of that, but we're also very, very proud of the community partners that we have. The Children in Crisis, when we first established, our organization was, as I said, in 2003, but it was a nucleus of community leaders that wanted to do better for our children. They wanted to eliminate all that shuffling around and separation of sibling groups and brothers and sisters, and all of that kind of evolved into Children in Crisis. And as I said, it's our 10th anniversary, our birthday, and we're very, very happy that we've been able to do as well. But I know why it is, and it's the community.
Well, 10 years of great service. Now, later on in the show, you're going to have a video for us. Can you tell us just a little bit about that before we take our break?
Yeah, we just did a informational video. Kind of, it's like 1,000 a picture's worth 1,000 words. And we've put together about a 5-minute video that tells the story of Children in Crisis and what we do for the children of our community. And I'm really excited for you to see that. We just upgraded it about 2 months ago, and it's been ready to go, and we're looking for places to show it.
Well, that's great. We did get a chance to see this at our chamber breakfast,
Yes.
and it's quite complete and very, very well done. We appreciate you sharing it with us today. And if you'll stay tuned after the video, we'll be back with Alicia Booker, our president-elect, on chamber events.
Did you know there's an average of 1,400 kids in foster care? And that's right here in Okaloosa, Santa Rosa, Walton, and Escambia counties.
There's a great need in this community to provide homes for brothers and sisters, and Children in Crisis has done that by taking care of over 100 children a year.
The need for such a neighborhood has been vividly illustrated by the large number of children that are moved so often within the system.
Children in Crisis is a 501c3 charity established by caring people from our community. The purpose of Children in Crisis is to provide homes and establish hope to those abused, neglected, and abandoned children of our own community here. The Children's Neighborhood is a beautiful facility. It has an emergency shelter, it has foster homes. Those homes are for children that would not have a place to go to. Our priority is to keep siblings together and to keep them as a family unit.
Well, there are a lot of what we call wraparound services that we have here at CIC that set us up for success and set our children up for success. Our kids receive tutoring from a great staff of volunteers that help our children make the transition from doing schoolwork only on their own to succeeding in the classroom.
We see children coming here who are coming from chaos. They're suffering great losses and grief from being separated from family, from friends, from a past that they weren't too sure about. And we're providing a home for them that's secure, that's loving, that is a place where they feel safe. What we hope to provide here is a bridge for these children from a chaotic past to a hopeful and secure future.
The challenge we face when the kids come here is why they're here and what needs to be done for them to go back home to mom. After a couple days, the kids are more comfortable and they're more open, and it's a regular home to them.
And they will help you through anything you're going through, and what you need to know is that they will love you no matter if you're doing bad or good, no matter if you're throwing fits or hitting them, they will still love you because it's an unconditional love.
Did you know 45% of the kids in foster care
Are separated from their brothers and sisters?
And what happens is, in foster care, so often the siblings are separated that you have a secondary trauma when the children are told, well, your brother and sister have to go to this home, but you and your other brother are going to another home. What Children in Crisis said is there not a better way? Is there a way to keep siblings together? And that's where the dream of Children in Crisis really began to grow. It grew beyond just an emergency shelter to be a long-term placement for multiple siblings, so that no child had to say goodbye not just to their family and their home, but then they didn't have to have another trauma of saying goodbye to siblings.
It definitely is a big deal when kids know that they're not alone in their situations. They're not freaks, they're not abnormal. There are other children all over the place that are going through similar situations, sometimes worse, sometimes better. But part of being in a group home is there's different sibling groups. The siblings get to stay together, but there may be 2 or 3 sibling groups in a home. Well, those 2 or 3 sibling groups, oftentimes over a period of time, they'll find out, wow, we're kind of the same. And they kind of create a bond even with those other siblings and other sibling groups, because they're not the only ones that are not with their parents.
What becomes difficult is that sustaining money to keep the operation going long after the first round of children have come in. We're going to need the community for always. There will be an ongoing need for our community to be involved. And when it's all said and done, our community wants to be involved. These are our kids. These are the kids who are going to live next door to you. These may be the kids who work for you one day. The more we can help them and heal them now, the better off our entire community is. Strong families build strong communities.
I just got in school. I came here to CIC. I didn't have no money, nothing. Miss Roberta, told me, we can pay that back. We can help you. She helped me get into school. I mean, they were a big support. They still are. So it's like, they just worked with me and had faith in me and pushed me and knew that I'd make it. They saw something in me that I didn't see.
Hi, I'm Ken Hare, President and CEO of Children in Crisis. You've heard our wonderful story. You've seen our beautiful neighborhood. Right from the start, Children in Crisis has partnered with our community to provide homes to about 100 children per year. We need to continue that, and with your help we will. So I ask you to look in your heart and help us, please. Thank you very much.
If you would like more information about how you can help Children in Crisis in the Children's Neighborhood, visit our website at www.childrenincrisisfl.org or call 850-864-4242.
When 10,000 students need to be online at the same time, Cox Business is there. When the big game relies on an even bigger communications network, we're there. And when students need the same tools and opportunities no matter where they are, we're there. With a $16 billion network and ability to route 50 million calls a day, Cox Business powers education. We're there for your business, too.
The Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation presents Color Me Cured 5K and 10K Fun Run on November 30th at the Fort Walton Beach Landing. Check-in is at 8 a.m., the run starts at 9, and winds through Fort Walton Beach as runners are drenched in an array of vibrant colors, all to support JDRF's mission to cure, better treat, and prevent type 1 diabetes. After the run, enjoy great food and entertainment at KC's Sandbar and Grill. For more information, call 830-7126 or visit us at facebook.com/JDRF Color Me Cured.
Welcome back to our wrap-up segment with Focus on Crestview. I'm Dennis Mitchell, President of the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'm joined by our President-elect, Alicia Booker, who is with North Okaloosa Medical Center. Welcome.
Thank you, Dennis. As always, it's great to be here. And a lot of things have happened since we were last here together, and one of those things, we had a business after hours with the Heritage Museum over in Valpy.
That was absolutely wonderful. I had not been there before. That is a fabulous place to visit.
Definitely. We also had a few things going on with the chamber. We had the breakfast here just last week, and we got to welcome some new members to the breakfast. So our new members are Carolyn Ketchell with she's an individual member joining us, Southern Storage Solutions with Philip Wade, JK Consulting and Design with Jeffrey J, and First National Bank, Robert Youngblood.
Always glad to have new members.
New members are good. That's what makes everything go round with the chamber. New members, new blood. And we also want to take time to recognize Southern Storage Solutions. They were our ribbon cutting for this month, and it was a great ribbon cutting with them.
Really was. They have some fabulous products. They're up there on Highway 90. If you can Crestview, go by and see them. They're new, and they have a lot of storage solutions for you.
Yes, and we have quite a few meetings going on with the chamber that are our usual meetings that we have, and one of those is the Arts and Culture Committee meeting the 7th, and they meet at the Journey Java Connection. We have our MAC committee meeting at 11 a.m. on October 8th, and that's going to be over at the Coach and Four Steakhouse this time. We have on October 9th, the Government Issues Committee meeting at 8 a.m., and that's going to be over at the chamber.
Yes, they're going to have Betsy Roy, City Clerk of Crestview. That sort of wraps up a 3-part series that Ashley Rogers has been putting together for us.
Very good. And on the 10th, we have the Membership Committee meeting, and they'll be meeting at Desi's on Main Street. And on the 10th, we also have a business after hours hosted by our breakfast sponsor, CCB Community Bank. So that's always a fun time with Derek Lott and that group.
At their beautiful bank building there on Highway 85.
Yes, very good. And on the 11th, we have a ribbon cutting and open house for Stewart Law Firm. And that will be at 5 p.m. and it's going to be at their location at 215 North Main Street.
And that's an unusual one because that is some renovation work on some of the older buildings down there, and I have heard that it is a fabulous result.
Well, one of the things we can do is just join and see for ourselves. All right. And on the 14th, we need to recognize that the chamber is going to be closed in observance of Columbus Day. So if you have any chamber business to take care of, do so before then. And our pilot committee meeting will be on the 17th at 12 p.m. at the Office Lounge. And the executive committee meeting, we're going to be taking care of our business on the 17th as well at 4 p.m. at the chamber. And we have a ribbon cutting coming up for October the 18th. And that's going to be for Paget Business Services. And it's going to be at 1 p.m. at 502A South Ferdon Boulevard at their location there. On the 24th, the Scholarship Committee is going to present a lunch and learn, and that's going to be with the 7th Special Forces this time. So the committee does a great job of bringing in different speakers. We're glad they're starting the Lunch and Learns up again this time, and I'm excited that we have the 7th Special Forces joining us, and that lunch is actually going to be sponsored by CCB Bank as well. So they're very busy in the community, as they shared.
They're just everywhere, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And also coming up on October the 26th, we have the big event for the month of October for the Chamber, which is the Community Health Fair. And the Community Health Fair is going to be held at the Community Center. It starts at 8 o'clock. And we have all of the businesses in the community that have health-related services there to share with the people in the community. And this year is going to be particularly interesting because with the new healthcare plans that are out and having to navigate through that, there are going to be several businesses there that will have information that will help everyone that may have some questions about the new healthcare plans. So it's important to come out and partake in getting that information, as well as some important health screenings will be offered.
This is a major event. It's right there. We call the Commons out there between the library, the chamber, and the center. It is amazing how much free stuff is there, and I'm always impressed. And there's lots of folks, but come on out because there's plenty of parking. It's very easy to get in and out. The kids will have a great time, and there's really a high value to visit out there and learn all the latest issues out there with the health providers.
And Dennis, we certainly want to mention our Business Spotlight members, Blue Water Orthopedics and Woodman of the World Life Insurance. And on November 9th, you don't want to miss our wine gala that's coming up.
The wine gala is a big event, and we have enjoyed that for several years now. Once again, it's going to be at our industrial airport there in Crestview. And if you've not been to a wine gala at the airport, you haven't really been to a wine gala. It's going to be lots of fun out there. Terrific stuff. Well, as always, we are quite busy with the chamber. Things are rocking along every month for us. There is room for everybody. The chamber has many programs that are open to the public, and we invite you to come visit for things like the Government Issues Committee meeting is a good one to get started at. Also, our breakfast. Do not fail to come to our high energy breakfast. We have a lot of fun. You have to come see the magic of Lynn Dominique, no telling what costume he's going to be in next time, but we do have a lot of fun as well as a lot of information. We've certainly enjoyed being with you today here on Focus with Crestview, and Alicia, I thank you for joining us with us today. And if you'll please catch our show there in the month of October, we'd appreciate it. And again, come visit us at the Chamber in Crestview.